All right, another question. Do you think gatekeeping is good or bad for hobbies? Now, in the beginning, a lot of people tend to have this idea that a certain hobby is for everybody and we shouldn't keep people out of certain things or whatever. We should let as many people in as possible. But in the last couple of years, since 2010 and on, there's been quite a few incidents that has happened that has kind of changed my perspective on that. And I still feel that like gatekeeping was a bit extreme. Well, a couple months ago I felt like that, and now I'm just like, fuck it. Like, why should we let a bunch of like people with ill intentions ruin something that we've spent so much time and money in trying to build up? I don't owe anybody a goddamn thing. And two, I really enjoy the things that I enjoy, and I don't want to see them destroyed by a bunch of fucking losers. So gatekeeping it is, right? So this article popped up today and I wanted to kind of cover it. Fans aren't gatekeeping anything. They're just wary of would-be dictators trying to take over their hobbies. So this is from Ollie Barder. Ollie Barder, this is an interesting topic. This is really this is a banger. Let's see if it's as good as the title says. One of the strangest phenomena that keeps on popping up these days is the inaccurate accusation that fans are somehow gatekeeping their hobbies. Firstly, this is an actual impossibility to do. Secondly, there is more going on here than first appears. Now, according to Merriam-Webster, a gatekeeper is either someone who tends or guards or a gate, or a person who controls access to something. The accusation in this instance is obviously applying to the latter. Now, a lot of people that are in control of places like Marvel and DC and all this other stuff, all the things that you've seen with Marvel and DC, especially recently, they tried to basically call the people that were in Marvel and DC, or people that were interested in those comics at the time, they call it a boys club. They called us like old white dudes, even though there was a lot of black comic book readers that I've been around and talked to, and we've shot the shit a lot of times or whatever. So the arguments, it always starts off with, this thing is problematic because only boys like it, or this thing is problematic because only white people like it, or this thing is problematic because only white men like it. And then it turns into a bunch of people that really don't have any interest in the genre or any of the hobbies or whatever are stepping in and trying to alter things into something that they're not. We know that superheroes are something that seems to be something that boys are interested in, where girls may be interested in more slice of life stories or other things like that. Now, that's not to say that girls don't read superhero comics, but a lot of males do, because it's a lot of males kind of feel like that they want to be superheroes. They have a need to protect. There's like a underlying need to protect and take care of the things that they love. Be it their family, be it their friends, be it their like pets, whatever. So it's just like with gaming, where gaming, there was a large number of young boys that played video games. And over time, you did find out that there were females playing games, but not as many because of the time period. I mean, look at the 80s and 90s. What were girls doing at the time if they weren't playing video games? And nobody asks that question. What were girls doing? Were they socializing with more of their friends or other girls? Were they going to the mall? Were they actually like doing things or whatever, or like sports or whatever? What were they doing? It isn't that there's nothing going on and boys are just experiencing this one thing and they're pushing the girls out. It's boys were interested in this thing, and the girls that were interested in gaming were kind of in the minority, mainly because Girls are social creatures. There's a social hierarchy in women's spaces, and that's how it is. Now, this push now to try to make everything female related, is it really yielding any fruit? Yes, there are girls that play video games, but are you really that interested in female protagonists, especially when they don't fit things that people are interested in? Now, it's like saying, it's like the previous video where they tried to say that, oh, we need to make more desexualized main female characters in order to create a healthy industry, which I don't think that's really what the case is. I think there's a lot of women that enjoy playing Bayonetta. There's a lot of women that enjoy playing like old school Lara Croft. There's a lot of women that do cosplay as like Lara Croft and Ivy and all these other like sexy characters. So there's a disconnect that's there, and that's really kind of confusing. It's like, again, it's what they say versus what they do, and the people that are saying it don't interact with the people that are doing it. But I've rambled on enough. Let's get back to this article here. Now, regardless, fans are incapable of controlling access to their hobbies, but before I get to that, there's a bit of fandom history lesson. Picking a specific example, in the case of an anime, back in the day, many anime were not available outside of Japan. This meant if you wanted to watch something like Division of Escaflowne, you would join an anime club, attended meetings, and acquired fan sub versions of anime on VHS tapes. Now, that's true. In a lot of cases, if you were as lucky as I was growing up, you probably stumble upon a couple of pirated television channels that kind of dumped off like Golgo 13, The Professional, Barefoot Gin, and stuff like that. Or you had friends that let you borrow copies of like Vampire Hunter D on VHS and like other stuff. Now, see, that's the difference. You had to actually get into certain spaces. You had to find the people that actually had the thing. Suncoast didn't start getting anime until about closer to 2000. I would say like 98, 99 is when I started going to Suncoast for anime. And Suncoast was expensive. It was ridiculously expensive. Tekken the Motion Picture, VHS, even though it's like cut to shit, $20. Street Fighter the Motion Picture, $20. Like maybe $29.99. Like you were talking like you have to basically have a pretty decent job in order to pick up more than one video. I got one video per payday. That's pretty much where I was at with that. And it was a rough time. Shit, you guys got it easy now, where you could just go to PlayAsia or you go to any of these Amazon or whatever, and you can get all these things for like fairly cheap. So anyways, this meant people in charge of said anime club could actually gatekeep when it came to a fan's access to anime. In the decades since, anime such as Escaflowne are now widely available on Blu-ray and also various streaming services, not only in Japan, but also internationally as well. Put simply, if you are a current anime fan, there is no one gatekeeping you from acquiring various anime works and enjoying them as a hobby. You don't need to befriend the higher-ups in an anime club. You can just buy it from a place like, say, Amazon or Best Buy and watch it whenever and wherever you want, which is true. It's very true. The same goes for model building, video games, and pretty much all the hobbies out there. Unless there's someone physically limiting access to the host media, gatekeeping is not taking place there. Yeah. If you want to get the game, get it. If you want to read a manga, go to Barnes & Noble, get it, read it. Or you can get a scanlation and get it there. I know scanlations are frowned upon because it's piracy, but we all fucking do it. Get it. So this is a bit more involved and not so much about the hobbies in question, but more about controlling various fandoms. Now, here's where it's going to get interesting, I'm sure. Going back to my anime example, when I originally got into anime all those decades ago, the size of the international fandom was relatively small. These days, though, anime is a global cultural phenomenon. This means there's a lot of anime fans out there, and all the fandom itself is consequentially influential in an industrial and cultural sense. So the accusations of gatekeeping are being used to leverage access and effectively run each fandom and acquire power as a result, which kind of noticed that with the statement that was made in the Reset Era video we did just the other day. There's a bit of social engineering going on where people are trying to control what people say and how they handle certain things, to where the acceptable response is to basically put your head down and not fight back when they're trying to push these things. Now, again, the quiet part was said out loud because that was the goal. By putting people in positions where they want to be on places like Reset Era, you have to adhere to the rules that are stated there. And these power mad mods are trying to force you into adopting their reality as the exact reality. Like, that's not the reality that everybody else sees. It's the reality they want to push. So they want to gaslight you into thinking that on their forum, their worldview on their forum is the worldview that everyone else should accept as the real worldview. When in reality, cash rules everything around us, and sales really make a difference. If people are going to spend money on things that they enjoy, like Bayonetta or other sexy design characters, they're going to fucking spend that money. Like, nothing you say or do will change that. And you can run the industry into the fucking ground, but at the end of the day, no one's going to accept your worldview as real because people are getting money to create those things. There's a demand for those things, and the market will adhere to those demands, regardless of how you feel and regardless of what your piddly little worldview says. Cut, print, go on. So, this is why there's a great deal of pushback from fans on this. Not because they want to stop people from watching anime or enjoying other hobbies, but to make sure these hobbies remain open to all and not descend into some sort of dictatorship, which I agree. And that Reset Era is the greatest example of this. That's a dictatorship. When you have a group of people who are mods, and who the fuck are they really, trying to tell you what you can and can't accept, or trying to tell you what version of reality to accept, whether it be the reality around you outside of the forum or the reality inside of the forum, which has no bearing on the outside of the forum. They want it to be. They want to make alterations to that, which is why they have so many insiders there, is because they want to try to influence the industry. But the fact of the matter is, cash rules everything around us. Cream, get the money, dollar bills, y'all. So the reality is that fans love having people that they can talk to in depth about their hobby. This is kind of involved in almost studied discussion of a hobby is actually what keeps various fandoms ticking along. This means that it's not in the interest of fans to limit access to what they care about. And if people are genuinely curious about a hobby, then fans almost always tend to offer their help and insight. However, when you see someone online in the real world accuse a fan of gatekeeping, it's more likely that that said accuser is not all interested in that hobby, is actually a power-hungry would-be dictator that wants to rule said fandom with an iron fist. That was pretty much it. I mean, you're basically saying, you said everything that kind of falls in line with the things that we've seen. And you know what? I agree. Ollie Barder's on point with this one. The real question, though, is do we gatekeep harder? And I think so, yeah. I think we push harder. It's time to start pushing back harder, and it's time to actually start kicking the and I know that people hate the term fake geeks, but if you are more interested in trying to rule over other people's opinions by modifying their behavior through banning and all sorts of things, or all sorts of disciplinary actions, regardless of the fact that these people are right in wanting to like the things that they like, then you're a fake geek. There is nothing of interest going on with you. Hating Bayonetta because she's problematic or whatever, that problem lies with you. That issue is your issue. It's not my issue. You don't like sexy things because there is something wrong with you. Not me, you. You need to take that L and figure out what the fuck you got going on in your head and work that shit out. So the next time I see somebody trying to push the shit and basically trying to tell me that, oh, you're terrible for gatekeeping, all this other stuff, you can fuck right off. Anyways, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me for this. I'll see you next boss fight. Take care. Have a great rest of your day.